My sister fired me as her maid of honor 6 weeks before her wedding after I'd planned everything because I was controlling. She was hysterical when I showed her what real control looked like. So my sister Rachel got engaged last November, and she immediately asked me to be her maid of honor. She told me she didn't want to hire a wedding planner because they're expensive, and she trusted me to handle everything. I've always been the organized one in our family, so I said yes. For 7 months, this wedding became my second job. I'm talking every weekend, driving to venues, meeting caterers, sampling cakes, and interviewing photographers. I negotiated with every single vendor to get her discounts. The florist wanted $3,200 for centerpieces, and I got her down to $1,900. I created this massive spreadsheet with the timeline, all the vendor contacts, deposit amounts, everything. Rachel never had to worry about a single detail because I handled it all. Then last month, I'm confirming final headcount with the caterer when Rachel called. We need to talk about the wedding. I figure she wants to change something with the menu, but when I get to her apartment, she's sitting there with her fiancé, looking all serious. She starts with, "I've been talking to Dylan, and we both feel like you're being really controlling about everything." I'm just staring at her because what? She tells me I'm making it more about what you want than what we want, and that she's decided to make her friend Becca the maid of honor instead. I'm demoted to just a regular bridesmaid. I'm sitting there trying to process this. Controlling? I did exactly what she asked for. Every decision went through her. I showed her 3 options for everything and let her pick, but she's acting like I've been steamrolling her this whole time when she literally hasn't lifted a finger for 7 months. I don't fight about it because, honestly, if that's how she feels, fine. I tell her, okay, Becca can take over then. She looks relieved, like she expected me to throw a fit. That night, I'm looking at my wedding spreadsheet. 43 vendors, deposits paid, contracts signed, and then it hits me. Everything is in my name. My email, my phone number, my credit card for the deposits Rachel was supposed to reimburse me for, but kept saying she'd get to it later. I scroll through my phone contacts and there's the florist, the caterer, the photographer, the DJ, the cake person, the decorator, the venue coordinator. Rachel doesn't have any of these numbers. She's never talked to these people. I handled everything. The next morning, I text Rachel, "Hey, you'll need to get all the vendor information from me for Becca." She just replies, "Can you send it to her?" Like it's that simple. I start going through what this actually means. The venue contract, I signed it. My name, my credit card deposit. The caterer, same thing. The photographer required a deposit, and I put down $800 that Rachel still hasn't paid back. I have all the contracts in my email, all the negotiations, all the details about what was ordered. The timeline I created has everything down to the minute. When the hairstylist arrives, when photos start, when the ceremony begins, when cocktail hour ends. I spent weeks perfecting it. I also realize I'm the only one with the passwords to the wedding website I built and the RSVP system I set up. I've been tracking RSVPs for months, following up with people who didn't respond, managing meal choices, and noting dietary restrictions. Rachel has no idea who's actually coming to her wedding. Over the next week, I start extracting myself. I call the venue and tell them the bride needs to update the contact information and credit card on file. They say they need Rachel to come in and sign new paperwork. I email the caterer, photographer, florist, everyone, saying I'm no longer the point of contact and they need to reach out to Rachel directly. Most of them reply confused because they've only ever worked with me. I delete the wedding website and the RSVP system. I kept screenshots of the guest list for myself, then removed everything else. The timeline spreadsheet, I make a copy for my records and delete the shared version. All those vendor contracts in my email, I forward them to myself and then to Rachel in one massive dump of 40 emails with no explanation. The deposits I paid get refunded to my credit card per my request since the contracts were under my name. I figure Rachel can rebook and pay her own deposits. 4 days later, Rachel is calling me nonstop. I finally answer and she's absolutely hysterical. "What did you do?" The venue called saying they don't have a valid contract anymore. The caterer said they released our date. The website is gone and I don't know who's coming to my wedding. She's crying now. Becca doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't have any of the information. The wedding is in 6 weeks. I tell her calmly that I removed myself from the planning like she wanted. She starts yelling about how I'm ruining her wedding out of spite. "You knew I didn't have any of that stuff," she screams. I remind her that she called me controlling and replaced me with Becca. If Becca is maid of honor now, she can handle it. Rachel is sobbing, saying she didn't think I'd actually stop helping. I ask her what she expected me to do after getting kicked out of my own sister's wedding party. She hangs up.